Production. I wish my in-laws could do that. I've heard it said that behind every successful man is a surprise mother-in-law. Now, where does leadership begin? Every once in a while, you're going to go to a seminar and you're going to hear some guy saying, if you live right, good things come to those who live right. That's a lie. I know some of the biggest crooks and phonies that ever happened that good things seem to be coming to. And then I know some of the most sweetest, dearest spiritual persons in all the world that nothing seems to be coming to. So it doesn't matter how you live. If I had a brain tumor here. You see, I get awfully tired of people who've learned how to parrot a phrase and just not really know what the meaning of that phrase is. But where does leadership begin? Leadership begins with 7 laws, and these laws are no respecters of persons. You either harness them and use them, or you don't. Now, I do hope, though, that some people that use them in the right way, because too often most people use them in the wrong way and to get what they want. Now, since we're doing a series of 7 speeches, I'm gonna have to break them down because this would be like an hour program. So I'm broken it down to the 7 speeches so that we can do them one speech at a time, and I've already put them in the standby. For anybody who doesn't show up, I'll take their place and give the speech, and we'll follow them in order. But leadership begins with the first law of leadership is, the law that never fails, the law that can't be bypassed, the law that's guaranteed. Get ready, here it comes. The first law of leadership is, this is so good, I hate to even share it with you. The first law of leadership is, some speakers wait to the end to give you the best. I'm giving you the best right at the beginning so that you leave early, you won't miss a thing. The first law of leadership is, get ready because here it comes. The first law of leadership is work. You thought I was going to say something complicated, didn't you? But I didn't say what you think I said. Every once in a while you're going to go to a seminar and you're going to hear a speaker say, show me a man who works and I'll show you a success. And I say, you show me a man who says that and I'll show you an idiot. You say, wait a minute, Tommy, how dare you say that? But I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. I know some people that are working themselves into the poorhouse. I know some people that have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and never have anything to show for it. You know some people like that, don't you? Maybe you're one of them. The first law of leadership is not the work that most of us are doing that we know won't bring success. The first law of leadership is learning. And notice I didn't say learn. I used to say learn, but then I would have to proceed to be learning all over again what I just learned. So I happen to be learning in the learning process all the time, so that's where I'm ahead of the game all the time. The first law of leadership is not work, but learning to get excited about your work. The first law of leadership is learning to get excited about your work. You say, well, wait a minute, Tommy. If I was doing what you're doing, I can get excited. If I was doing what he's doing, I can get excited. But if you had my lousy job, you wouldn't talk like that. So wait a minute. I got news for you. All our work is lousy. A young man came to see me a couple of years ago. I can't remember exactly when, but he graduated number 2 at the top of the technical university, prominent university. And he came to see me and he says, Mr. Castellano, he says, I've heard about you. And I believe that you can help me. I said, oh, here we go. He says, I've been interviewed by this company, that company, and none of them have hit me. And I believe that you can help me find what I would like to do. So I thought for a minute, I said, you want me to help you find what you would like to do? Well, I can't even find what I would like to do. He says, well, don't you like what you're doing? I said, I hate it. They don't pay very much money to do things I like to do. He said, well, you know, I like vacations. I like conventions. I like seminars. I like signed contracts. I like the word yes. Oh man, how I love that word yes. But what do I get? I get rejections, turned down, no's. And here's what I get all the time. I need to talk it over with my wife. Just one time I wish I had the courage to say, your wife. You know why God didn't make your wife a man? Because you don't need another husband. Some guy says, well, Tommy, don't you think in talking things over your wife? I believe in talking everything over with my wife after I have decided what we're going to do. I don't let any of that leave this room. I had to tear this down a little bit, so now I'm lost. Basically, I've been learning that life is not really doing what you like to do or want to do. Real life is doing what you want to do. Life is not doing what you like to do or want to do. Real life is doing what you ought to do and need to do. I've been learning that people who do what they'd like to do long enough, one day discover that what they thought they liked to do, they don't like to do. But people who go through life doing what they don't like to do long enough, one day discover that what they thought they didn't like to do, they do like to do. Somebody ought to get this straightened out. I believe that in everybody's life, one of the most challenging things, if not the most challenging thing, will be learning to get excited about your job, because most work is not something that's easy or nice. Because if it was easy or nice, they wouldn't call it work. They would call it fun. If you wouldn't have a job, you'd have a fun. So basically, the first law of leadership is learning to get excited about this lousy thing called work.